Welcome everyone to the Performance Development Consultants YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, unity and diversity in Malaysia. Joining us today is, of course, the man himself, the CEO of Performance Development Consultants, the amazing Mr. Azman Shah. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. Very good, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, lovely. Nice to have you here again. So let's start with unity and defining it, especially a person of your background. You come from a mixed cultural background.
Yep.
How do you define unity from the context of nation and society?
Well, if we look at Malaysia as a whole, and as you mentioned a little bit earlier, I also come from a diverse background.
Yes, exactly.
Which I love, to be honest with you. You know, there were challenges when we were younger and so on. But as a society, it's a given. I think Malaysia as a society is one of the most diverse societies in the world. You know, it's a given, to be honest with you. When we talk about diversity later, I suppose we're going to talk about inclusion, but as a society, we're very diverse. And I think it's very rich in a culture. It's very rich, and we need to continue to maintain that culture, like that strength.
Now, you mentioned that there were difficulties in the beginning. Did you have struggles fitting into a certain community, perhaps because of the stereotype understanding of what face should represent that community?
Yeah, kind of sort of lah, and this is because probably also some of those individuals. Okay lah, I'm a KL boy. You know, I'm born in Malacca, basically raised in KL, so I'm a KL boy. So the culture is, you know, whatever it was lah. And in high school, we had what we call remove class.
Yes.
Remove class students, which is, I think, was an excellent program, super program if you ask me. So they're giving opportunities for people in the rural area to come in, and then they were housed in asrama and all that stuff. And so many of my friends that I grew up with and went to school with from that program are so successful. So it's a great program. So I guess part of that program is to bring people from the outskirts into the city, and for us to understand them and they to understand us lah. So in the beginning, I think there was that lack of understanding. But again, that program brought better understanding between the different sectors of our society lah.
Do you think that stereotypes of a community made it hard for you to fit in at the start?
Yeah, I guess stereotype bukan only then, even now you still have stereotypes. Unfortunately, I think it's lesser and lesser, but unfortunately there is still that stereotype, and sometimes that stereotype is held by the older. I know this sounds weird, you know. Maybe it's some of the stereotypes held by the older generation, even though you have heard. My generation, we always talk dulu. You know, there's no walls between each other. We have friends of all kinds of races, and now I say that. But what I'm trying to say also is the younger generation, even better, even greater. Hopefully, those walls, they bring down themselves.
Okay.
They bring down themselves. You know, if you want to talk about our society or society in general, some societies, I think you understand what I'm headed to lah. Walls are put up between races for a purpose, for a reason.
Exactly.
Not healthy. You know, but I think the younger generations by themselves are bringing those walls down. So thank God.
Do you think that the recognition of those walls is largely due to your heritage, to your background, to your exposure?
I would agree lah. I would agree, that be fair lah, because the diverse background by itself, we see from different perspectives. Am I right now? And we also accept from different perspectives because you are from that diverse background. So the more diversity there is, the better lah.
In a sense, exposure or the lack of it hinders unity?
Like I said, Malaysia as a society, we're the most diverse. So are we inclusive? I think we are headed there.
Okay.
I think the government and I think corporates and everything is headed there because of so many advantages and reasons why we should be inclusive. You know, and inclusive talks about cognitive aspects of it and all that sort of stuff. So I think we're headed there.
When you were younger, and I always hear this from people of your generation who talk about, you know, how you all live together, many races and all that. Have you seen that change over the years?
Let me put it this way lah. I still have friends from that era. There's no issue. We still live the way we are and all that sort of stuff. And now I think there is a little bit possibly even in universities when the housing of students, right? In the universities, kalau saya tak silap dulu-dulu, Doesn't matter if whichever race you sometimes when they put you in a room there as Malay, in Chinese, Indian, whatever. Dulu kalau saya tak silap. I think now they want to put you into your own ethnic group and maybe religious group because of sensitivity to the religious practice. Maybe, I mean, maybe that's a reason. But
Do you agree with such moves? Do you think that will hinder us, send us 2 steps back?
I think we shouldn't. I think we need to learn to continue. I use the word continue because Malaysia, I feel that even with the different races, we are respectful to each other.
Yeah.
I think we should continue that and urge that and educate everyone. It's okay, So if I am housed with a non-Muslim, I want to pray, I pray, and you respect my time for prayers, this, that, all that sort of stuff. I think that would be healthier.
Do you think when Malaysians continuously hang on the label that we are multiracial, multicultural, multireligious, that sort of divides us more as opposed to having one Malaysian identity?
Actually, no. That is the Malaysian identity. The difference among us is the Malaysian identity that we should accept. And each of us having our ethnic groups and we celebrate that, I think it's a healthy thing. To be honest with you, very healthy. So it's okay. That is our ethnic, our culture as a society. We have multiple ethnic groups and we should celebrate it independently, together, and so on.
Do you think then that the attitude of Malaysians to be more beholden to race and religion first over country is also perhaps limiting unity in a greater sense?
I'm not sure about that in regard to whether I think I understand where you're coming from,
Yeah.
and there can be some questions about that. Does our ethnic group affiliation is greater and bigger than the nation as a whole? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
So I hope that's not true, to be honest with you. Going back to my answer in your previous question, that I think we all should be proud of our ethnic group and we should share it with each other. But, all of us, when time comes, we should be united as Malaysians.
Not all the time, just when time comes. What do you mean?
Well, no, what I mean is, we should be united as Malaysians. Overall, we are Malaysians. And the ethnic groups, the sub-communities.
Because you gave examples of the past and all that and how you lived, right? What are some of the general things that you have noticed in modern society and in terms that have sort of concerned you about the level of unity in our country? And how do you think we should best go about solving it or addressing it?
Some years ago, my pembantu rumah. So then I was putting up my Malaysian flag and my Selangor flag. I live in Kota Damansara in Selangor,
Okay.
for 31st August. Then she asked me, why are you putting that? She was the first year. Why are you putting? I said, kita punya Hari Merdeka. And then in my row, there was me with the Selangor flag and Malaysian flag. And then there's a general who's living in my row. He also has a flag. And then she's asking me, where's the flag? Where's the rest of the flag?
Belum beli lagi.
Aku pun tak tahu lah. And in Indonesia, she says they celebrate their independence like crazy. And I think that's something, to be honest with you, that's the responsibility of our leaders to make sure that we have all that pride and we celebrate our independence together. You have Hari Merdeka and you have Malaysian Day. Fair enough. But I think the drive for us, for the leaders for us to celebrate it in a big way, I think that's not enough.
So we have to go bigger with our Independence Day then?
Well, it's just not the fact that kita buat party. Tidak. It has to be the semangat has to be created for us to feel and want to celebrate our Independence Day and our Malaysian Day.
What's hindering that semangat to be built?
It's not enough is done for it. I think not enough is done for it.
Do you think patriotism is cultivated enough in schools?
Well, obviously, I
You
haven't
left
been
school a
in
long
school.
time ago lah.
Tapi dulu we sing all the kita punya lagu and all that sort of stuff. I think what I can say is more can be done lah. I can't say it's not done enough, but I can say more can be done.
What sort of actions or real life examples, maybe things you have seen around you in your community that you live in, not necessarily your race, but just people around you that you think, okay, this kind of actions are actually contributing to those walls?
Well, I tell you what, maybe I go one step back lah. It's about trust and acceptance, which is lacking. So trust and acceptance is creating, or lack of trust and lack of acceptance is creating that wall. You know, and that starts in school also. That starts in school, you know. And then why are we having so many schools like way? We have, we have Chinese schools, Indian Tamil school, we have this school, that school. Why are we having so many schools?
You want one national school?
One national school, you incorporate, as I know is a big ask. One national school, you incorporate everything you can in it lah. Yeah, tetapi you have to be creative and you have to go out of the norm, but create one. So you have Mandarin, you ada aja. You want agama, you ada. You want Tamil, you ada. How are you going to do it? Yeah, well, the poor students will go at 6 in the morning, go home at 9 at night lah.
That's actually good for the parents, actually. A bit of a break.
Yeah, but that will help quite tremendously. But I don't know how you're going to find that solution.
But you think that vernacular school should be done with? It's a relic from our colonial past.
You cannot do without, because everyone wants a piece of whatever they want. How do you incorporate all that pieces into one big school? How do you do that? That is the question for our leaders to answer.
Okay. Now, how much do you think of our issues when it comes to unity is based on actual experiences, and how much do you think is inherited from previous generations?
If I talk about my generation,
please.
Yeah, it is. We did inherit a lot from our previous generation. And our previous generation, if you ask me, when you talk about the unity, you talk about the walls are not being there and all that stuff, I think they practiced it partly because also we had one common enemy, that was the Brits. Go for independence. And there's no walls. I don't think so. I tak tahu lah, agak-agak lah. And my parents, friends, and this and that, all that. And they taught us that. And then in my generation, we also continue to practice that lah. Because it was from our parents and all that stuff. So now I think the parents also, the younger generation, the parents need to be able to do that as well. Except all of us teach and preach to our kids that we are one and we have to respect each other.
In whose hands does building unity lie in? Is it the leaders more, or is it us, the people of the country?
The people of the country and the leaders. It's two.
But who shares a greater burden?
Us, parents, people, we lah. Because we also can tell the leaders, hey, listen, we want more unity. What can you do? Tapi it has to start with us lah. Kalau kita if we don't want to practice that, the leaders will not care so lah, because the people don't want it. If the people want it, then we tell the leaders, hey, we want it. Let's work towards this. So it's we.
There were studies done, I think, a few years ago that showed that the races being not trusting each other.
Yes.
And one of the reasons is a lack of exposure. So is this, and of course, like you said, it's fine to be proud of your race and ethnicity. We all understand that. I think we all feel proud of who we are.
Yeah.
But where is this source of insecurity with oneself, that to expose oneself to another race is sort of like, it feels a bit taboo?
And this is new, I think lah. Masa saya punya generation, we did not have that concern or worry, nor did my parents have that concern or worry. Of course, I come from a very multicultural parentage anyways, kan? So they don't worry who I mix with. If we stayed overnight at this people's house, that people's house, that concern of that lah. Where we trust each other, we trust that to be honest with my son, and we practice the same thing. He goes over and sleeps over with his friend's house, Indian house, Chinese house, whatever house, and all that stuff. We got no issue. We don't think about, makan halal, tak halal, he'll force my son to eat this, tara lah. They all respect each other and so on, And sometimes I feel bad. I say, hey, Mukris, why don't you bring something? No, don't worry. Auntie will prepare for me halal food, order this, that, all that sort of stuff. Because they understand and they respect each other. So, yes, but sekarang ni, there is some issues about, kita tak boleh campur because of this, because of that. I think that needs to be overcome.
How do you overcome
that? More exposure, more, can I use the word? Education.
Of course you can.
Because nanti, to educate everybody that, we are respectful. As a nation, we are respectful people. But you're right, there are communities like that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt whatsoever. So,
do you think assimilation is a prerequisite to being united.
Yes. Yes.
In
Of
what
course.
way assimilation? This is
Ya,
gonna be
saya
interesting.
cakap ini nanti orang marah.
Baguslah.
Kahwin. Kahwin. That's the best assimilation. You know what I'm saying, right?
Marriage is the best answer.
So then you accept different races, this, that, all that stuff. Okay lah, I'm just joking about that, but I mean it. But I'm just joking. But we have to learn for that to happen. It has to start from the beginning. There'll be trust and all that sort of stuff, and then the different association cultures should assimilate with each other and so on lah.
Okay, so you believe assimilation is a prerequisite?
Yeah.
So that means by saying that, are you sort of implying that unity cannot really be achieved in its truest
You
sense?
can't say one or the other lah. Cannot be kalau tak buat ni tak jadi. Kalau tak buat ni tak jadi. You can't really say that, but you can say all of these things contribute to unity. Kan?
Okay.
There's not one simple answer lah.
So there's basically many parts to the ocean lah.
Yeah, of
All
course.
rivers lead. Okay. Can unity really be built through campaigns, government campaigns or social media campaigns and all that? Or must it grow organically?
A bit of both. Tapi kalau kita kata we want to build it, I always believe in these two things. Yeah, the intention must be right, and then it must be done sincerely. So if the intention is right, whether it's within the society or our leaders, roll it out and all that stuff. If you have the right intention, and then if you're sincere about it, that can contribute. And then we also have to do our own.
Of course, our perceptions of unity is very much colored by what's in the media. And of course, today, the leading media is social media, right?
Yeah.
Over traditional media and all that. Do you think social media has strengthened our unity as a society, or has it made it worse?
Yeah. What a question, abang. You can't live without social media. It is there, okay? It is there. There's no two ways about it. Now you talk about the people in the social media who are responsible or not responsible. Am I right?
Yeah.
We got no choice. What can you do? And how can, so social media is very powerful, no doubt about it. You know and I know there are some people over there instigating people for no reason and so on, irresponsible. So how to control them? I don't think we can. But if you ask me, does social media contribute? Yes, it can contribute. It can contribute positively or negatively. It depends on the individual, right?
On the individual, of course. And of course, it's a two-way thing. You
Yeah.
have, of course, the people sharing content and the people consuming that content.
Oof, tough, yeah.
How do we educate people who are consuming the content to be more discerning on what is good and what is bad?
I say, man, Tuan, sometimes whatever content some people review or is exposed to, they're so easily influenced. The critical thinking kurang. So, and then they play on emotions. And I'm a psychologist, and I know what emotions can do. And some of these guys, dengan sengaja tak sengaja, play with the emotions of the people. And everyone wants to do it, thinking is shortcut. Yeah, cuit sikit fikir macam ni. So, it's people are so easily influenced. So that's a tough part.
Tough part? You think people cannot be made to be wiser?
Not to say made to be wiser or not, tetapi kadang-kadang malas nak fikir. So people cuit you this direction, people cuit you that direction, you terus ikut. You're not critical enough. You don't ask more questions. You accept sometimes face value sahaja. Itu masalah lah. And then those content providers, they know what they're doing. Right, wrong. So they cuit you, then they move you this direction, that direction, and so on lah. So I think we need to be more critical and ask more questions before just accepting buta-buta.
Now, on that note, there was recently a report that 70% of racist comments online were actually by bots. They're not real.
Really?
They're not real.
Holy cow.
So you being in the field of psychology, right? What makes it about human beings that we are so easily, moved by such comments, even though there's much evidence out there available to everyone that it's fake, it's not real?
I know, but when that content is out there and is directed kind of sort of to you, or it hurts you, you're not going to ask, this is a bot or this or that, all that sort of stuff. Human beings are impacted by emotions. Emotion, okay lah, I won't go into the
No, why
emotion.
not? I love it. I love psychology.
Emotions, the emotion that you have can be instigated by the surrounding or what people say. Nah? Emotions impact your thinking. Thinking impacts your decision. Decision impacts your behavior and then outcome.
Okay.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, it's all, okay lah, I cannot say all about emotion. It is about the emotional state. So kalau saya pandai nak manipulate your emotional state, I will situate the situation to get you to do or behave in the way I want you to do. Some people are more stronger, you know, and not easily influenced. But I think the majority, you just tweet the emotion, game over. I'm oversimplifying it.
So is that another way of saying that unity as to be achieved is something that requires a more mature audience?
Not necessarily lah. But to be honest with you, okay lah. Obviously, maturity is going to contribute to unity, of course, you know. But I think one of the things, since we are talking about the emotional state here, is that we need to feel emotionally, quote unquote, connected with each other as well. That's going to strengthen unity.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Wow, my God, my friend. It's starting from as a child, at home, in schools, and leaders among themselves also, they must show this kind of unity and so on and so forth.
So leadership by example.
Yes, also kat rumah. It's not a one. Not. I love to say, hey, listen, leaders, you're responsible to make us unite. Tak boleh lah. Not fair. Because everyone contributes to it, if you ask me, including the schools.
In the human psyche, are we more inclined to living to unity, or are we more inclined to living for ourselves?
Oh, no. Sense of belonging, unity. Independence is there, but unity is part and parcel of Maslow's theory of hierarchy. We want to be loved and we want to be accepted. You talk about psyche, it is part of our psyche.
So to the way we are living now is sort of going against our human nature.
Tak boleh kata itu macam lah. We can't say we are going against it, but we could do more towards it.
No, but you just said we are more inclined to living together, to love each other, sense of belonging.
But when we need that. We need that as part of our psyche.
Okay. What does that do by having that?
I think that's easier for us to connect with each other, lah kan. Tapi sekarang we are connecting with each other, but maybe like what you said, in those silos lah. Betul tak? So kita besarkan itu silo lah. Itu silo kita akan, no, I shouldn't say kita besarkan. We break the silo, and it's not just Malay, Chinese or Indians or whatever. It is Malaysia as one. Kalau kita boleh the good question again, balik, I repeat myself. Yes, it is part of the human psyche to have a sense of belonging, togetherness.
I've interviewed many people from your generation, and most of y'all, in fact, I would say all of y'all, say the same thing. That when you were growing up, things were different. You know, you guys had friends from across races. You know, all that lah.
Yeah.
Everything, which is nice, of course. In fact, I think my parents were sort of living at the tail end of that sort of generation, right? Where in the university, I've seen my mother's photos. There's different races. They go out and all that with the big 80s, hair and all that kind of stuff. Then came the generation after that, which sort of went closer towards conservatism.
Yes.
That's where all the boundaries the walls started coming up, right?
Yep.
The next generation, the younger ones, people like your children, or maybe even your children younger than that, do you see it changing? Do you see it going back to your time? Okay,
here's the deal. I can't speak for outside the Klang Valley lah. I can't. And I try to be as broad as possible in my field, in my business, to also appreciate, kan? Tetapi if I were to look at in the vicinity here, I think they're doing better.
They're doing better.
I think, but it could be the parent also, because again with my children, they and their friends, I got no limit. You want to go with your friends, you want to do this, you do Chinese, Malay, Indian, semua boleh. And then they are also being accepted by the other families as well, because my children, quote unquote Malay, are going and living and staying overnight with other people. So I think it's better. And also the younger generation, in the beginning we were talking, I think the younger generation now, we're talking about the Z and then the Alpha, I think they'll be more open. And I think in regard to the wars, I think there'll be less wars. I believe so, and I
Do you
hope
think
so.
that the secret ingredient to that is because of exposure? Because even I've met parents who say, like, these are Muslims, huh? They put their kids into schools that have Christian prayer and all this.
Right.
But they're okay with it.
Right.
But the kids don't get involved, lah. But
Yeah.
Christian prayer and all that. So it's exposure at the end of the day. All
You're
boils
right.
down to exposure.
I agree. I think that plays a big role in it. I think it plays a big role in it. And also today, of course, the exposure is via social media, this, that, all that sort of stuff. And then we as parents, at least me, we as parents, we give the children the independence to think, to choose. Obviously, we give direction, lah. So I think you're right. I think the exposure does help.
Okay. As a person of from the I would say more like from the golden generation, if you I'm trying to find the right word here.
Okay, then I boleh terima.
Boleh terima, eh? What's your advice to Malaysians in terms of how do we become more united? What's your advice to our people, to us?
Yeah, I think we need to first and foremost, I go back to, you need to appreciate where you come from, okay? We come from our own ethnic group, respect. And then we need to respect each other, and then we need to I think the other one is trust lah. Trust that everybody is, trust that everyone is willing. I don't know that we think or we do. We won't be doing nasty things or bad things against each other. We just have to trust that we respect each other. We have to trust each other. We have to bring down our walls, and then we have to be diverse in our views. So I don't know. You should look at your group of friends. You should look at your phone number and see, how diverse are my phone list. Add more people that is more diverse, and then meet up with them. Go for watch football, this, that, all that sort of
World
stuff.
Cup, man. England,
You got to
Argentina.
start doing that now. So I think we need to start to evaluate and see how diverse is our environment.
All right. So, guys, that was Azman Shah, again, CEO of Performance Development Consultants, sharing his views on unity and diversity. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. As always, links to his social media, as well as if you want to get in touch with him, will be in the description of this video. So we'll see you all soon, guys. Next episode coming to you very soon. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.